Welcome to today's 5 Good Minutes. You're listening to today's inspirational message on the book of Jonah with Bjorklund.
In the book of Jonah, Jonah is the one who runs from the clear command of God to go to Nineveh and proclaim against it. And as we enter chapter 2, Jonah is in the belly of the fish. Chapter 2, verse 1 says, "Then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the belly of the fish." What isn't clear to us is that he knew that he was in a fish at that point, or that he knew anything about the outcome. And it says, "I called out to the Lord out of my distress, and he answered me out of the belly of Sheol." So belly of Sheol could have been that he, again, thought that this was his eternal space. "I cried to you, and you heard my voice. For you cast me into the deep, into the heart of the seas, and the flood surrounded me, and your waves and your billows passed over me. And then I said, I am driven away from your sight, yet I shall again look upon your holy temples. The waters closed in over me to take my life. The deep surrounded me. Weeds were wrapped around my head, and the roots of the mountains. I went down to the land whose bars closed upon me forever. Yet you brought up my life from the pit, O Lord my God. When my life was fainting away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you into your holy temple. Those who pay regard to vain idols forsake the hope of steadfast love. But I, with the voice of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed I will pay. Salvation belongs to the Lord." And then verse 10, "And the Lord spoke to the fish, and it vomited Jonah out upon dry land." God disciplines, and there are choices when we experience the discipline of God. One is we can simply sink into despair, not connecting it to God, not connecting it to his goodness, and simply say, I'm in a horrible space. Maybe I made some choices that brought me here. Maybe it's just the way of the world. Maybe we even turn and get angry at God for allowing things to happen to us that are even of our own choosing. And we end up just simply giving up to despair. We can also deny it, meaning we can say, I'm not really experiencing anything from God. This isn't God's hand. Or we can decide to say, I am going to take this hardship as discipline, as redirection from the hand of God. Listen to these words of Hebrews 12, verse 4 and following. "In your struggle against sin, you have not resisted to the point of shedding your blood, and you have forgotten the exhortation that addresses you as sons. My son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor be weary when reproved by him. For the Lord disciplines the ones he loves and chastises every son whom he receives. It is for discipline that you have to endure. God is treating you as sons. For what son is there whom his father does not discipline? If you're left without discipline, in which we have all participated, then you are illegitimate children and not sons. Besides this, we have had earthly fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them. Shall we not much more be subject to the Father of spirits and live? For they disciplined us for a short time as it seemed best to them, but he disciplines us for our good, that we may share his holiness. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who've been trained by it." Today, will you see whatever discipline has come into your life as something to respond to and take as God's good redirecting hand in your life? Or will you let it push you into despair? Or will you simply try to deny it? There's no question that the best course forward is to say, I will be redirected by discipline. If you think of the analogy that Hebrews 12 uses of the earthly dad, caring enough to redirect his child, and think of just a young child being resistant and bitter to everything that his dad tries to say. and how much harder his life is than when he simply says, my dad really does know something here and want my best, and he's trying to give me. And when a child is teachable, you see the ease with which they learn some things. And today I just want to plead with you to say, let the hand of God, his hand of discipline, be a good thing in your life that you choose to respond to.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.